This is the rarest speedrun in the world. So the time starts ticking as soon as the runner spawns in, and the pressure is on because he's attempting a run that no one in the history of speedrunning has ever done. He got really lucky with the car spawn because it's a female NPC who won't shoot him for stealing her car. However, since this is his third attempt, the driving has gotten him a little motion sick. But this is his luckiest spawn yet because right around the corner is a potential mate on the right side of the car, so there's no time wasted for her to walk around the car. He drives straight ahead into the alley, but he needs to be careful because this NPC will definitely shoot him for running him over.
Move! Move! Move!
Now this was his first time trying it in this big open alley, which saved time, but he wasn't sure if the lady would like the spot or not. But luckily, she gives the okay, and as soon as he hears the car squeaking, the timer stops. And thus, he becomes the first and only person in speedrunning history to achieve a sub 1 minute hot coffee speedrun and virtual reality Grand Theft Auto. Pretty cool, right?
Oh, let's go! 52, I knew that was fast. That was that explosion. What the fuck?
But is every game that easy? I have selected a variety of different games to test just how fast you can romance someone in each of these games. Starting with, woohooing as fast as possible in The Sims 3 was gonna be my biggest challenge yet, because it's a very open-ended goal that requires nothing but pure charisma and determination. So we start with making our character the most peak attractive male possible by boosting every slider all the way up. Oh my god. What is this body, bro? That is the body of a Greek goddess. So if every slider is to the max potential, that means that he's going to be very attractive, right? Oh my god, I can actually give him a tramp stamp. He's beautiful. He's perfect. Ladies are going to love him. All right, traits. What kind of traits should he have? Give him flirty, friendly, great kisser. Those lips are a really great kisser. And we're gonna make him also a hopeless romantic. That sounds good. And just to balance things out, he's going to also be a loser. No, that seems too mean. My boy's not a loser. He's actually a never nude? No. He will be over emotional. All right, we're gonna make him love sushi and maracas, and his favorite color is black. And his life goal will be to be the Emperor of Evil. Sure, why not? He wants to be the Emperor of Evil for some reason. All right, cool. Our boy is ready. Mr. Submissive, well, just Mr. Breedable, actually. Please, Mr. Breedable is his father. Just call him by his first name, Submissive. Submissive Breedable. As soon as we start, and the timer starts, we are off to find a beautiful potential mate. Lady for us. Now, the best place for a young, attractive male to find a potential romantic partner is living in an apartment filled with other young single people. But unfortunately, the only option for us was to live in the suburbs, which happens to be filled with a bunch of families and children. Who is that? Oh, it looks like they have a family. Maybe I could just knock on someone's door? Wait, who's that? Nope, is that a boy? That is a boy. Well, I don't want to talk to the baby because that's not going to get me anywhere. Wait, who's that? That's the postman? Nope, that's a child. Is that a child? That's a child. I immediately headed to my next door neighbor's house and found the first person who wasn't a child that I could potentially mingle with. Wait, who's that? Who's that? Oh, right there. Right there. Who is that? What's her name? Lisa Bunch. Oh god, I hope that's not her boyfriend. Hey Lisa, my name is Submissive. Wait, how old is she? Lisa thinks Submissive is okay? Yeah, well, you're not so hot yourself. How do I inspect her? How do I ask her how old she is? She's unemployed. That's not a good sign. I'm a little stressed out here. How old is she? Oh, she's in high school. Nope. Sorry, we gotta go. We gotta go. Goodbye. Actually, wait. Lisa, is your mom single? I quickly ran away from Lisa before her dad called the cops on me and went to my other next door neighbor, the Kennedy household. This is a nice house. A woman by the name of Aaron answered the door while an older gentleman was dancing in the living room. Aaron Kennedy, is that your dad or your husband in there? He looks pretty old. Wait, Aaron, come back. Aaron! Wait, did she just invite me inside? Oh my god. We're already in the house chat. Aaron invited me inside, I think, and we struck up a lovely conversation. Okay, I'm telling her I like sushi. She likes, burgers. After confirming that she was an adult, I was pleasantly surprised to learn that she was also single. Aaron's single! This is huge! Aaron is single! After getting to know her a little bit, I started to use Submissive's flirty personality to build up our relationship. Romantic. Compliment personality. Romantic. Flirt. Romantic. Pickup line. Romantic. Oh no, she didn't like that. She didn't like that. No. Stop everything. Stop everything. No, we have incompatible traits. Oh no, that's not good. After 8 minutes into our speedrun, I successfully invited Aaron over to my house where things started to get really serious. Oh, she's coming over. She's coming over. Unfortunately, she rejected me when I tried for our first kiss, which really put a damper on his mood. Oh, no. Too soon. But being a peak attractive male with excellent charisma, it was easy to bounce back by just spamming every single romantic option possible. Okay, this is working. After another 5 minutes of back and forth flirting with some breaks in between to eat dinner and read a book at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, she said no to staying over, but it's like 12 o'clock at night and she's still here anyways. Oh, she's tired. We finally had our first kiss. Yes, baby, first kiss! First kiss at 14 minutes! And just 16 minutes into moving into the suburbs, Submissive asked Aaron to stay the night, and she accepted as we made our way into the bedroom. I'm really looking forward to spending the night at your place. It'll be fun. Oh my God, she said yes. They're going to bed. How do I bring the walls down? I can't see. Let's go, baby! 16 minutes and 23 seconds. What did I say? Less than 20 minutes. It's only been 20 minutes living in the suburbs and all this has already happened. No one can resist Submissive and Breedable. Ah, love story for the ages. Just go into the neighbor's house. I think Submissive is really gonna like living in the suburbs. God of War 2005 starts the game immediately with a shot of Kratos' feet, so you already know that this is gonna be a good game. Damn, look at those feet. For free, Kratos? Now, if you didn't play the original God of War games before the reboot, you might be surprised to know that this is a wildly different game. Not only is Kratos way more of a dick in this game before parenting made him soft, you might even say that this is the original Gooner game, because it straight up includes a mini game for Kratos to have relations with 2 women in bed. This came out just 1 year after the whole GTA hot coffee minigame controversy, and I don't know how in the hell they got away with that. But how long is it gonna take us to get there? I haven't played this game since I was just a wee child, so my skills are a little bit rusty here. They're not even explaining the controls to me, they're just throwing me right in. However, the combat is not bad at all for being a 20-year-old game. God, this game is peak, dude. Which I would expect it to be good, considering that is the main part of the game. I've just been playing a lot of games lately that have really horrible combat, Tomb Raider games. But aside from that, it's a good game. I enjoy it. And aside from the good combat, the story itself was really, really good. I will say some spoilers here, but it's basically just Kratos' background. So it's not really a spoiler, but it kind of is. I mean, it's a 20-year-old game. So if you don't want to be spoiled about the background of Kratos, jump ahead, I guess. But the game's 20 years old. Anyways, Kratos was once a successful Spartan captain until being defeated by Ulrich the Barbarian King. Kratos is like super sad about being defeated, so he prays to the Greek god of war Ares, who makes him a deal. Ares is like, I'll give you these sick blades to go kill that dude, but you have to be my loyal servant for the rest of your life. Kratos is like, okay, and he goes and gets his revenge on the Barbarian King. Ares then tells Kratos, yo, my sister Athena is kind of a bitch, and my dad Zeus likes her more than me. Can you go, like, kill the village of people who worship her, please? And Kratos is like, okay, but here's the twist. Ares played a dirty little trick on Kratos. He secretly had Kratos' wife and child sent to the village during the attack, and Kratos accidentally kills them. And then the village oracle is like some creepy wizard, psychic dude, whatever. He's like, yo, that was really messed up, and I'm gonna curse you now, because he's mad that Kratos did that to his village. So he gives Kratos a curse, and it causes Kratos' wife and child's ashes to be bonded to his skin permanently, causing the ashy look. And no matter how much lotion he used, he'll forever be ashy. And then the game sends you on a murderous rampage to get revenge on all the Greek gods. Wait, is it Greek or Roman? I think it's Greek. It's just so cool. It's fucking cool. Great game. Love it. Anyways, about 10 minutes in, we've already slayed a bunch of the weird demon things and partially killed a Hydra, which was no problem for our boy Kratos. But the true test of his skill and my patience was this goddamn box. See, the game wants you to slowly push this box to the end of the boat to reach the enemy shooting arrows at you. It is a waste of time. And while yes, I can kick the box and send it pretty far, eventually it's pretty easy for the dudes to just destroy it and having to start all over again. No, they broke my box! No. This took me like 10 times and it wasted 7 minutes of my speedrun time. I was losing it. Push the box! Yes. Oh, you bitches are fucking fucked now. But it's all right. We persevere. No box is gonna stop Kratos. So now we come across the captain's cabin with trapped screaming woman in there, and because Kratos is such a nice guy, he's now searching for the captain's key to save them. You tell me I can't just break that shit open? Yeah, right. But first, we have to finish killing the Hydra in the big badass boss mission of the game. And this is peak classic God of War. Even though it did take me quite a bit time to finally kill it, it was a good boss fight. I enjoyed it. Classic God of War, great time. So you climb inside of the Hydra's mouth, and you find the captain inside.
Thank the gods you came back for me!
I didn't come back for you.
Kratos is a dick, dude. You know, he's a lot nicer in the new ones. We head back to the cabin ready to start our romance minigame with the ladies inside, but, wait, no, actually, we're too late. I guess we're too late. But that's okay, because after a short little cutscene, Kratos wakes up on a boat in bed with 2 women. And although I am a little bit inexperienced in this department, I had to keep doing it a couple times because I didn't know what this symbol meant. What does that mean? And I didn't know what moves to do, but don't worry, I got the hang of it eventually, and I completed the minigame and got a bunch of XP. There we go. We did it. We've completed it. And I did the minigame like 4 more times because you can just keep doing it over and over again. A lot of people were introduced to the Witcher series with The Witcher 3, myself included. But before there was The Witcher 3, there was The Witcher 2. And before that, there was The Witcher 1, which at that time was known as The Witcher because The Witcher 2 hadn't come out yet. And the entire Witcher trilogy has got to be one of the horniest games ever made because it's practically impossible to avoid. And in The Witcher 1, you even get cool collectible cards for every woman that you get to fornicate with. Geralt is known for taking many trips to the brothels, and across the series has many women fall in love with him, which in modern games I can understand. I mean, just look at him. But back in 2007 with the original Witcher, looking like Ellen DeGeneres with long hair, I don't know how he pulled anyone. What was that shot, dude? That shot was corny, bro. The way he looked. Released in 2007, it was the first game by a little developer called CD Projekt Red. Now back then, they just had a history of helping translate other games into Polish until eventually starting to develop their own games and hit it out of the park right out the gate with The Witcher. Back then, it was only released on PC and it got pretty good reviews all around, claiming it to be a very good RPG game. However, if you're familiar with CD Projekt Red games and Cyberpunk 2077 specifically, and its disastrous launch until eventually turning into one of the best games of all time, you might be surprised to know that CD Projekt Red has a history of releasing games too early and eventually fixing it later on. I don't know why I put fixing in quotes, because they did fix it, but the games, you know, they release it in one way and then it's fixed later and then it's a full game. You know what I mean? You see, while the game did get very good reviews for being a great RPG experience, there were a ton of issues that prevented it from getting a perfect score. Horribly slow load times, many crashes, janky PC controls, and most notoriously, it had a horrible Polish to English translation causing some very awkward dialogue. And the voice acting itself just wasn't great because of the direction the actors were given, probably. So 1 year later in 2008, they released The Witcher Enhanced Edition, which basically fixed all of that. They even spent around $1 million to get everyone back in the studio and re-record their lines to add and fix a bunch of the dialogue and voice acting. And a year later in 2009 came The Witcher Enhanced Edition Director's Cut, which literally just removed the censoring of the nudity for the North American version because we were a bunch of prudes about that kind of stuff back then. Now, why am I telling you all of this instead of just getting into the speedrun? Because as of today, 2025, 18 years after its original release, you are only able to purchase and play the Enhanced Edition Director's Cut. For this speedrun, I wanted to go back and play the original version that was released in all of its bad voice acting glory, and it is nearly impossible to do so. I couldn't even find an uploaded version of it on Internet Archive or anything. It's effectively been wiped from the internet. And even when I tried searching on Reddit, I came across a single thread of someone asking that same question 8 years ago, and the top comment was basically, "Why would you want to do that? LOL. Me, I want to do that. I want to do that." It's basically like erasing history. Nowadays, everyone remembers The Witcher 1 with fond memories and they go back and play it and see not many issues about it other than, you know, it didn't age that great. But that's not what happened when it first came out. Yeah, games fix things all the time and they push out updates, but it's a lot different than just fixing a few bugs. It was entirely new dialogue, animations, controls. It was basically almost a different game, kind of, in a way. I mean, I feel like for historic purposes, we should be able to play that original version. And any record of being able to play that version has effectively been wiped, which I understand from the company perspective why they wouldn't want anyone to play it. I'm sure it's embarrassing for them, maybe, but we should still be able to play that version as consumers, right? But someone on that same Reddit thread suggested buying an old copy of the game and playing it that way. So that's exactly what I did. I bought the original released box version of the game and a CD drive for my computer because who even has a CD drive anymore? I need a way to play it. I even disconnected my Ethernet cable to ensure I didn't get any updates, and all of that proved to be completely pointless. Why does it say Enhanced Edition? Because I still got the enhanced version even after booting up the disc. I did all of this and it didn't even work. This doesn't say enhanced version anywhere on it. This is the original game from 2007. I shouldn't have the enhanced version. I want the original one. Now I have this for no reason, because I already bought the game. I already bought the game on GOG. I already bought the enhanced version on GOG. So now I have the enhanced version in digital and I have the enhanced version in physical too. I'm more mad about this the more I think about this. History has been erased. Anyways, this entire tangent and mission of trying to get the original version took longer than my actual speedrun, because remember, Geralt has that dog in him. We start the game as Geralt of Rivia, and we see a lot of familiar faces I remember from the third game. Oh, it's my buddy, I remember him. I remember from Witcher 3. One of those being Triss Merigold, who is gonna be very important in just a bit. Hey, it's Triss! Sorry, man. I'm a Yennefer fan though. Geralt's face looks really silly in this game, but you know, it's 2007, all right? Of course the graphics aren't gonna be the best. They did make sure to add jiggle physics though. You'll never be her. Now, once the first cutscene is over, our run officially starts. Our tower is being invaded by a bunch of bandits, and it's our job to kill them. And the only reason that this run took as long as it did is because the combat is absolutely bad and just not fun in this game. Wait, am I even hitting him? Why am I like faking him out? I'm not hitting him. You basically just stand there clicking on them until you see a little fire sword icon to do a combo, except you can't even move while swinging your sword, so you kind of just have to stand there and click and keep clicking and keep clicking until they die. There we go, there we go. A lot of people hate the combat in The Witcher 3, which I never really had a problem with. I enjoyed it, but playing this made me really appreciate it even more. And at one point, I felt really stupid because I finally got to the end of killing the bandits. Okay, finally. And I was told to open the gate. And this being an early 2007's PC game, I started spamming every button possible, and nothing was working. Fuck, how do I open it? I checked the keybinds, clicked on the gate. Am I stupid? Walked around, looked for a button. Nothing was working. I didn't know what to do. I felt stupid. Eventually, I had to Google it, and thank God for 18-year-old GameFAQ forum posts, because one guy had the same issue I did, and the answer was extremely simple. Actually, I just found someone I left behind alive, killed him, and the option opened up. Oh my God, dude. All right, well, at least I feel less dumb now. But now it's not, I know it's not my fault. Go back to the courtyard and see that there was one guy left that you have to kill, and then the gate opens. Finally, we get past all of that, and now we meet up again with Triss, who is having a little bit of an issue with her clothes. What is going on with her? I wasn't staring. I just happened to notice because it looks so weird. I was not staring, I promise. Now we just have to kill the bandit boss who's in the building, who is actually a little bit rude and hurt my feelings a bit. Bitch. Did you hear what he just said to me? That was actually kind of rude. Now, unfortunately, during the scuffle, Triss got hurt in the process, so we have to concoct a healing potion before we can achieve our goal. Believe me, I tried rushing this, but it didn't work. Wait. Do you want to do it now? No, okay. I think she wants to wait till after this is over, probably. She doesn't look to be in the best mindset. We got to do the healing potion first. So after killing some more bandits, gathering all of the ingredients, we finally bring the potion to Triss, and she is so thankful that she gives us a little bit of a reward. Let's go! Let's go, baby! 35 minutes, 46 seconds. It's happening. And then we get a cool little collectible card after, which, believe me, is extremely tame compared to the rest of the cards that you can get. I can't show them to you, like, just look them up. This is nothing compared to the rest of the cards. They're crazy. Anyways, we completed our run at just 35 minutes and 50 seconds before even completing the prologue of the game. Geralt, you sly dog. Now my question is The Witcher 2 and 3 gonna be just as fast? Let's find out. The Witcher trilogy may have evolved a lot over the years, but one thing is consistent between all three of them. The music slaps. And while The Witcher 3 may have completely overshadowed its predecessor, The Witcher 2 is the only Witcher game to most likely have been played by a US president.
The last time I was here, Donald gave me a gift, the video game developed here in Poland that's won fans the world over, The Witcher.
The Polish Prime Minister gave The Witcher 2 as a gift to Obama. That's how goddamn proud they are of this game. But it also got criticized for being too overly sexual, so do you think Obama did the mission with the succubus? I mean, right when you start the game, the cutscene starts with you and Triss in bed with no clothes on, which means technically this speedrun ends at just 0 seconds, right? Hold on, does this count? Clearly something has just happened. Dude, this is graphic. I can't show you any of this. But if we don't count that because it takes place after it already happened, this speedrun did take us a bit longer to get through, partly due to there being less romantic opportunities compared to the first game, but also because, for some reason, this game is extremely hard, for me at least. Now, I've been playing games my whole life. I know I'm not bad at them, but even on normal, this game was so goddamn hard. Dude, where? Ow, I'm on fire! No, I'm on fire. We start the game as Geralt, who unfortunately has landed himself in prison after being accused of assassinating the king, which, if you don't know, they typically don't have brothels in prison, which means that this is going to take a while. Geralt's being interrogated by Vernon Roach about what happened, and the first few missions are flashbacks telling the story of how Geralt ended up in this sticky situation. And not the good kind of sticky situation either. Now, jumping from The Witcher 1 to The Witcher 2, I see so many improvements in the game, and I can understand why it had such good reviews upon release. This game is such a huge improvement from The Witcher 1, though. Like, this feels a lot closer to The Witcher 3 than it does Witcher 1. The combat feels so much better, actually being able to do combos and move around at the same time. Oh, shit. The graphics have taken a big step up. However, I don't know if this is just me or not, so maybe someone who has played this game can answer for me. Is this game abnormally difficult? No! No! Oh, I'm struggling right now. Yes, I skipped the tutorial and I'm trying to speedrun a game that I've never played before, but I've played and beat The Witcher 3. I love that game, and I thought I would know what I'm doing, but I died so many goddamn times. Oh no, I died! Fuck! No! Ah! Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. Are you? I blocked that! I blocked that! I blocked that shit! Are you kidding me? And I still died! I should have just dodged! Oh, God! But the weird thing about it is, I was getting frustrated, but I was also having fun. Are you kidding me? Can you guys stop coming at me? It wasn't pushing me to the point of wanting to rage quit, but I was getting annoyed at having to restart so many missions, making my time go up and up and up. No, dude! Oh, do I just suck? I didn't want to change the difficulty to easy and hurt my ego, so I just sucked it up and dealt with it, but I feel like the game is abnormally hard. And it's not even because it's janky or like the game was glitching and stuff. I think it literally felt like the combat was really challenging. Let's go, baby. But there were a few things that started to piss me off though, not related to the combat and was actually an issue. At one point, I had no idea where to go because it was blocked off, and I tried using a sign to break the wood, but it didn't work. So I was stuck, just aimlessly wandering around, wondering where the hell I was supposed to go, until I realized it only works when you're pressed right up against the wood to break it. Why did that not work the first couple times I did it? Oh, this game's making me so mad. Do you know how much time I wasted because it didn't work the first time? Also, in this game, you can't use potions in the middle of combat like The Witcher 3, so you have to meditate beforehand, which really slows down the action. Why am I not allowed to use potions? But also, it just sometimes does not work. How the fuck? It straight up told me that I couldn't meditate here until finally I kept spamming the button over and over, and then it finally just worked. There we go. Okay, all right. Anyways, I finally get past all this bullshit and meet up with Triss, and we were really close to being able to finish the run here. Oh, Triss! There's Triss! We need her, possibly, or somewhere else.
Want to head back to the tent? The camp will be nice and empty now.
Yes, please! Please say yes, Triss! Please! But unfortunately, Triss was able to resist Geralt's riz. No! Try harder, Geralt! Try harder! Use your charm! And unfortunately for us, we have a couple more flashbacks to go until we finally see the king get assassinated. Next, Vernon Roach helps us break out of prison because he knows we're innocent, and that starts probably the dumbest mission in the entire game. You now have to sneak around as Geralt with only your fists and knock out guards, and if you mess up, you can pretty much get one-shotted by the guards. Oh my god, I'm so tired of dying. CD Projekt Red definitely learned from their mistakes because I just feel like there's no reason to have sneaking in the Witcher series. It completely takes away from the action. Like, let me chop the guy's heads off or use Igni or use a sign. I have magical powers, for God's sakes. Why am I wasting my time? Anyways, we're gonna speed things up a bit here. Geralt escapes from jail and meets up with Triss and Roach. They go through the forest until eventually getting to Flotsam. You save Dandelion from getting executed, and finally the game fully opens up for you to explore, and you know my man Geralt went straight to the inn to find the brothel.
Doing it Witcher and Frigged style.
I think we made it.
Care for a little fornication?
I would love some fornication. Let's go, baby. We finally finish our run at 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 47 seconds, which took way longer than I thought it would take, but it was pretty worth it because the Witcher series proves to be the naughtiest series when it comes to romantic encounters. Like, I can't show you any guys that stuff. Like, it's pretty graphic how far we've come from 2007 to 2011. You're just gonna have to look it up. Sorry about that. Sorry, Tris, but this was faster. But what about The Witcher 3? We're now in the climax of the Witcher series, and The Witcher 3 has become one of my favorite video games of all time. But it wasn't always that way. Having never heard of The Witcher prior to playing it, all I saw online were people claiming it to be the best game ever made. And I tried to play this game at least 3 times before giving up, and every single time it was at that goddamn Wraith in the Well mission in White Orchid. I hated fighting that goddamn Noon Wraith. It's one of the first Witcher contracts handed to you, and basically the introduction of what it means to be a Witcher, and I gave up pretty much every single time. Not from it being difficult, which it was, as being someone brand new to the game, it was extremely difficult. But even when I did beat the Wraith, it just turned me off from the game completely. Something about it just pissed me off, and it made me not interested in playing the game any further. I think it was a pretty bad introductory mission, and I think that they could have chosen a better enemy to fight. And it's not even like a required mission, it's optional, but it's one that you're kind of guided to do. So I just lost interest every time. But about a year ago, I couldn't escape people saying that this was the best game of all time and I was missing out. So on my 4th try, I committed myself to at least getting out of White Orchid no matter what. And after that, I couldn't put the game down. I fell in love with the characters and the world that was built, and it was one of the few games where I actually read all of the biographies and all the extra stuff that you find in the menu. And you know what? I actually don't find the combat as bad as everyone says, and especially not after seeing how it improved after the first 2 Witcher games. But with all that in mind, I was expecting this speedrun to take quite a long time because you have to get through the entirety of White Orchid first before Geralt has any hope of making it to the brothel. Yes, the brothel is going to be the fastest way, of course, but it was actually a lot easier than I thought. We start the game in a dream sequence where Geralt is with the love of his life Yennefer and adopted daughter Ciri. Afterwards, the game officially starts in White Orchid where Geralt and Vesemir are trying to reunite with the real Yennefer to help Geralt find the real Ciri who has been taken by the Wild Hunt. Hey, that's the name of the game. Anyways, none of this matters because I sped through all of those cutscenes as fast as possible on everything important, and it only took me like 20 minutes to get to the Griffin fight, and by 26 minutes, I have already found Yennefer. There she is! There's Yennefer. Oh, I missed her. I haven't seen her in a while. I didn't skip those cutscenes though. I missed Yennefer. Dude, Yennefer over Triss any day of the week. We travel to Vizima to talk to the Emperor and blah 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 blah. At 33 minutes, we have finally made it to Velen and the game officially starts now. We are officially in the open world. We're free to do whatever we want. All I need to do is waltz my pretty little ass into Novigrad and find the nearest brothel. But there is a problem. Since I skipped pretty much everything in the first area of the game, I am horribly underleveled. Right upon getting into Velen, Geralt gets mugged by these group of bandits, and I was completely not prepared. Excuse me, gentlemen, I'm busy. I got places to be. I was level 1, and they were level 10. Oh God. Oh, I am very underleveled for this. These guys are level 10. Oh, fuck. Sorry, Geralt, you are not badass. Can I just, I'm dipping. Get out of here. So I had to use trusty Roach to ride from here to Novigrad. Go. Roach! Roach, you're letting me down, Roach! And this made me realize how goddamn scary it would be just to be a normal dude living in this world. Nope. No, thank you. Because everywhere you went, there was some kind of freaky monster in your way trying to kill you. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm in a bad spot. I was now basically role-playing as if me, myself, was actually a Witcher in this universe, being terrified of everything and running away like a scared little baby. I'm not built for this. But I survived, and I waltzed my little ass into Novigrad in just 40 minutes, which, playing normally, is supposed to take like 20 hours of gameplay to get there. I found the nearest brothel. I think I made it. I think I'm here. Only paid 20 coin, and Geralt has now speedran this in every single Witcher game. Let's go, Geralt, you dirty dog, you. That was great. Wait, there's still hearts on them. Can I just do it again?
It's a plow.
Yeah, let's do it again. Oh, and then I just went back to back to back to back because you apparently can do that with no break period at all. Geralt is literally a machine. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I vaguely remember reading that Witchers don't have like a refractory period, which if you don't know what that is, I'm not gonna go into detail. You probably don't need to be watching this if you don't know what that is. Anyways, moving on. As a kid, choosing between Miranda and Tali was one of the hardest decisions of my childhood. The Mass Effect series is known for having some of the deepest and most well thought out romantic companions. Not only is there like 15 plus people to choose from over the course of the original 3 games, the person you choose will actually stick with you across the entire 100 plus hour journey of all the games. Yeah, you could always switch up who you're in a relationship with each game, but the game transfers your save files across the entire series of games. So you get deeply rewarded rewarded or punished for the actions you made in the previous playthroughs. If a character dies in your playthrough of Mass Effect 2, they are dead for the entirety of Mass Effect 3. And as a kid, I fell in love with all of these characters, not even in like a romantic way. Every single one of them, especially Garrus. Garrus is my bro, and that's why when I played this game as a kid, I looked up how to ensure everybody stays alive in the game because my little heart couldn't handle the emotional turmoil of losing any of them. And as you can imagine, being a teenage boy, trying to choose between the human who was literally built and genetically engineered to be extremely attractive, or the alien with 3 fingers who you can't even see her face, but she had a really good personality, that was a really tough choice. But today, neither of those are going to be options for us because they add unnecessary time. Today, we're gonna have to go after someone who I had no interest in as a child. Jack. But you see, there's a problem. A lot of people asked me to include this game in the video, and I was very eager to do so because I loved Mass Effect 2 as a kid. However, there doesn't seem to be any space brothels that exist in the Mass Effect universe, so our only chance is an actual true romance. But in order to romance someone, you basically have to complete almost the entire game. Very slight minor spoilers here, and I won't go into too many details to avoid spoiling much of it, but near the end of Act 2, you're tasked with basically doing a mission that has a chance to kill everyone. It's, you know, a mission, there's a word for it, but I guess you can't say that word on social media anymore and you get in trouble for it, so I'm not gonna risk saying it. But, unaliving. It's an unaliving mission. God, it's so stupid. It sounds so dumb. Small mini rant. I hate that, like, aggressive moderation on social media is altering the way we speak. I hate it. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. And as a way of saying, hey, I really hope we don't die, the character that you've built a relationship with the most throughout the game offers you a good time. And that's basically the only way to trigger it. And yes, I know that the title of the video is speedrunning, but if it isn't obvious by now, I'm not actually a speedrunner. I don't know the glitches, I don't know the strategies, I'm not getting like optimized times here. So doing something like this on my own would literally take me 20 plus hours to get through. But I had an idea. I went to the speedrun.com forums and saw that the world record time was just around an hour. But even looking at videos and trying to read the guides online, doing this on my own with no experience would be impossible. So I sent Microwave, the world record holder for the Mass Effect 2 speedrun, a friend request on Discord and shot my shot. No, I didn't really say that. That's not what I said. I did explain what I was doing though, and he agreed to help me for some reason. Before we even started the game, I already learned so much about speedrunning in general. The glitches that we were gonna do today weren't even discovered by him. I always thought that the people who get the world record speedruns are usually the people that discover the glitch in the first place to get a better time, but he explained to me that it's a very communal effort. You have people who don't even speedrun themselves, but specifically just play the game to find glitches and share with other people who apply it to their speedruns. Mike had me install a mod for the game that basically skips some of the unskippable cutscenes and dialogues and some other small tweaks like that. And I find that very interesting. It's like everyone just agrees that it's okay to use a mod because it saves everyone trying to speedrun the game some extra time when playing the game for hours and hours and hours on end every day. I mean, if you add up all the unskippable cutscenes, it's probably a considerable amount of your time just wasted waiting for it to go through. So, I mean, it makes sense. And it's interesting that everyone can just agree that using this mod is okay. And everyone's like, yep, that's fine. Very interesting. Anyways, after fixing up my settings and keybinds, the run officially begins as Mike starts coaching me where to go and how to go as fast as possible. And I will not lie, I was a little bit nervous having someone watch me play and the pressure of the speedrun timer going down. I was relying on him to tell me where to go and what to press, and it was a little bit stressful. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, Mike was actually a really good guide and giving me tons of information at the same time. My biggest fear was the glitches. If I was gonna get a good speedrun time and not waste 20 hours of mine and his time, it was important that I get the glitches down. And as someone who couldn't even figure out how to stop hop in Fallout New Vegas, I wasn't feeling too confident when we arrived to our first glitch spot, the elevator glitch.
But what you could do if you want is there is a skip we could do right here. I don't know if you'd be comfortable doing it, but it's where you go up against this wall and try to, or not this one, it's where the rail is. Look towards the, oh, you did it right here by accident.
Oh, I did
This is the, go back down though, because you're gonna want to pick up the grenade launcher actually.
There is what if I can't do it again?
But yeah, there's like a bunch of different ways to do this. Oh, nice.
How much
yeah,
time does this one save?
This one doesn't save that much time.
Bro, I did it perfectly by accident. Now I can't do it again. All of that took quite a bit of time, and that was just to get on top of the barricade. We still had to make it across the other side, walking on invisible platforms and hitting invisible walls, which, if done correctly, lets you skip pretty much the entire mission. The worst part is, I don't even know if doing all of this was taking longer than to just have done the mission itself, but the elevator glitch is pretty much the main glitch that we'll be using throughout the entire speedrun, so it was important to get it right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. All right, now what?
Just turn straight to the left. Oh, okay.
It was so satisfying once I got it down. It was pure dopamine flooding through my brain.
Yeah, there you go.
There we
Perfect.
go. Oh, that felt good. But now imagine doing that, but like 20 times throughout the course of an hour at many different spots and many different missions and invisible walls and invisible platforms everywhere, and you take a little bit too small of a turn and you fall into a void and bam, speed run over. You gotta start all over again.
Yeah, we're going to the void.
It's blows my mind, honestly. And every elevator glitch is like that. You're trying to remember how far you can walk without falling off, where the invisible walls are, because every little micro mistake could cost you that world record speedrun time.
There's a couple of different ways of doing this.
Oh, let's go!
Yeah, you just did one. You're getting it. You're getting it. I don't even have to explain it to you anymore. You're getting it.
But Mike was right. Once you do it the first time, it just gets easier every time after that. There were a couple of other interesting glitches and important bits that were crucial to the speedrun. Like at this part, you had to shoot 4 rockets in the doorway to blow up one of the NPCs, and that saves 10 seconds and skips the cutscene because the NPC ragdolls around is being blown up by rockets, so they can't talk in the cutscene, I guess. How do you even discover this shit? There are some door hacking puzzles throughout the game that I thought were randomized, and I thought, hey, you could get pretty unlucky with a bad puzzle that's gonna take you extra time to do, but he explained that there's a set amount of patterns here, so once you do it so many times, you can pretty much recognize which pattern it is off the very first symbol and know where the rest of them are. I was getting so good at this though that I started doing speedrun skips subconsciously without him even needing to tell me what to do.
All right, so we're gonna do go back to where you did the first one. Oh, all right, this works too. All right.
I don't know if that says something about my speedrunning ability and my ability as a gamer, or maybe just Mass Effect 2 was kind of a bad game that had a lot of glitches. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyways, this is basically how we turned a 20-hour game into 2 hours. Most of the missions were able to be skipped by doing these elevator glitches because they were everywhere, and if they weren't, we just ran through the mission really fast and avoided killing any enemies. At around just over an hour, we finally got to the mission where we recruit Jack to our squad. So now we basically have to pick missions that advance the plot of the story, so obviously all the missions are super optimized. He knows exactly which ones take the fastest to get to and the fastest to complete, but then we also have to talk to Jack a little bit to build up a relationship with her at the same time. Anyways, more glitches and more talking and chatting later. We keep doing missions and talking to Jack until finally she shows some interest in us. But because we skipped so many cutscenes and dialogue, we weren't actually really sure when it would actually happen and if this was the part that it was gonna happen at.
All right, you must have friends.
I think
just fine.
Did we choose that one?
I think that's one I just did, yeah.
Okay.
And then I already did this one.
Well, all right, let's try. We'll talk again and just wait before you skip anything here.
Wait. My turn. Why are you really asking all these things? Are you eyeing me up? Because if this is just about sex, maybe you should just...
Yeah, try this.
Yes!
This might...
if I said no. You're different.
I think this might satisfy to run here.
People always want something. Well, what?
Sounds good to me.
Oh my god, this might be it.
All right, Jack. I like how you move.
I bet you do.
Is this it? Is it happening?
Are we gonna cut the black here?
100%. This is a lot more than just making out. That's like making out. That's like ready. That's it. 100%.
GG's.
Let's go. 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 49 seconds. That's not bad. Huge shout out to Microwave for helping me out with this section. We didn't make it below 2 hours, but this seriously would have taken like 20 hours by myself. So I'm happy that he agreed to help me out. And along the way, I actually learned a lot of speedrunning stuff and very interesting facts about it. And there's a whole sub community of people out there that are specifically dedicated to speedrunning BioWare games. and they all help each other out. It's a very communal effort, and that's really cool. I linked his YouTube and Twitch in the description if you want to check him out, and he's trying to speedrun the game Avowed now as well, and I'm not gonna do that because there is no sex in that game. So moving on. Saints Row released in 2006 and started out as a GTA clone game, but a little bit more silly and cartoony. In the first game, you start by creating a character and helping start your own gang called the 3rd Street Saints in the city of Stillwater. 7 years later, Saints Row 4 starts with you being the President of America. Yep, I'm the President now. President of the United States unlocked. Press all buttons to initiate global thermonuclear war. Wait, can you actually do that? If I just press all the buttons on my controller? While aliens take over and put you inside of a simulation where you now have superpowers. My oh my, how things can change in just 7 years. These games are very near and dear to my heart because I spent hours and hours playing online in the first 2 games. Saints Row the 3rd was also pretty great. Saints Row 4, however, kind of went off the deep end. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, I played it all the way through, but I think it was the downfall of the series, going from at least a somewhat grounded experience to just way too over the top and cartoony and ridiculous. It ended up feeling like a mix between Crackdown, Grand Theft Auto, and Mass Effect 2. Why are their bodies like that? What the? Wait, that's funny. What? They got like no gravity. Oh shit! I mentioned Mass Effect 2 because the game parodies a large portion of it. Like this part is a straight up parody of the Paragon vs. Renegade choices from Mass Effect.
Do you want to be the president who cured cancer or the president who solved world hunger?
Let's go with cure cancer.
Now let me tell you a little something about the greatest word in politics. Filibuster.
Punch a dickhead, punch a dick in the head.
I got a word for you. Shut the fuck up.
Fucking ridiculous. You even go to space with your own spaceship and crewmates with some romance options. And I say romance options very loosely here because, well, you'll see. But first, we have to customize our character and give him the biggest sex appeal with the sexiest voice possible. I think I'm a super fat guy. A bikini tan thong? Yep, that looks good. Okay, all right, we can't spend too long on this. We got a speed run going. I do just like boosting everything to like 100 and seeing what it looks like. Oh, that's oh, I look like I got some riz, dude. I look like a mime. I'll go with the clown makeup. The voice is just Nolan North in the game.
Sunday, my fellow.
Oh, dude, that's great. This is so fucking ridiculous. Now, one thing about the Saints Row games is that they've always had a stacked voice cast. Throughout the series, they've had Mila Kunis, Terry Crews, Neil Patrick Harris, Jamie Presley, Sasha Grey, Burt Reynolds, Daniel Day Kim, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, and most importantly, Keith David. Twice. Not only does he play Julius Little, but he also plays himself as just Keith David. Anyways, your character goes out on stage to make a press conference, and I skipped the cutscene because we're on a time crunch here, and that's when the game really starts to make a big 180. Oh, I missed a lot. I missed a lot by skipping that cutscene. Maybe I shouldn't have done that so I can remember what happened. That's all right. Oh, aliens, that's right. Dude, this is straight up the meme of I'm never skipping a cutscene again. So after getting abducted by aliens, you wake up in this 1950s sitcom era, very confused, and Kinsey, one of the old gang members, tells you that you're in a simulation and you gotta blow up a bunch of stuff to escape. I loved these minigames as a kid, and my favorite was the insurance fraud, where you just get to watch your body flail around in the city. It was great. I love that. Best minigame in a video game. All time, hands down. Anyways, the big bad alien gets upset about you messing up his simulation, so he puts you back in the normal city, except everything is kind of weird.
You trying to kill me or sleep with me?
I'm down to sleep with him. Completes my goal. All right, yada yada. I don't need no yapping from you. If you ain't trying to fuck me, I'm skipping. There's aliens and stuff, and Kinsey starts hacking it, which is what gives you superpowers like super speed, super jump, and telekinesis. After around 50 minutes or so of running around, killing aliens, collecting data clusters, and mandatory training sessions that you couldn't skip for your new powers, Kinsey finally helps us escape from the simulation in a scene that is straight out of the Matrix. Kinsey and Keith David pick you up in a ship, and you now have to escape the aliens shooting at you while one of the greatest songs ever made plays in the background. Baby, don't hurt me, don't hurt me no more. Bam, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. Finally, we have access to our very own ship with the first 2 crew members on board. And since the game is a parody of Mass Effect, they included some romantic options as well. Except the only difference is that it doesn't take almost the entire game to make them want to be with you. It's as simple as pressing a button. But the question is, do we pick Kinsey or do we pick Keith David? I think there's only one right answer here.
I know you want to, but I don't.
He turned me down! Alright. Guess we gotta go with our backup option. Well, since Keith doesn't want to sleep with us, I guess we'll just have to go with the rebound, unfortunately.
Hey, Kinsey, you wanna
We did it! Not with our intended target, but 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 27 seconds. That easy. Thanks, Kinsey. Wait, can we do it again?
You have to wait till I want it.
Well then. Now, I've always went into this with the question being, how fast can I romance someone in a specific game? But the history of Baldur's Gate 3 sex speedruns is a little bit weird. Weird as in it's an actual category on speedrun.com with a world record of just under 2 minutes. I mean, the whole concept of Baldur's Gate speedrunning is a little ridiculous in general when one of the major glitches involves undressing Shadowheart, stuffing her dead body inside of a box, and using it to fling yourself across the map to skip most of the game. Yes, that is a real glitch, and from my understanding, the undressing part is actually necessary for the glitch to work. When this game was released, it actually became a pretty popular speedrunning category once people realized that Lae'zel in the game was super easy to sleep with. Lae'zel, more like, I want to lay with Lae'zel. Lae'zel, I'm gonna lay with Lae'zel. No, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's actually what inspired me to start making these videos in the first place. However, Baldur's Gate 3 ruined it by patching the game to make her more difficult to romance. But not that much more difficult because the speedrunning community quickly found a solution to do it in just a teensy bit longer at slightly over 3 minutes. And that leaves us to today, where there are now 2 different categories for Baldur's Gate 3 sex speedruns: pre-patch 5 and post-patch 5, which means 2 things. We already know the answer to how fast you can romance someone in Baldur's Gate 3, but 2, and more importantly, I could realistically get a Baldur's Gate 3 sex speedrun world record on the current version of the game. There are only 4 people who currently have submitted a run for the post-patch 5 leaderboard, which means I only have to beat 2 people to get 3rd place and a little brown trophy next to my name. This person named May, who was the pioneer for BG3 sex speedruns, was in 3rd place with a 4-minute and 17-second speedrun by going for the Minthara route. I've played a little bit of BG3, I haven't beat the game, and I haven't played enough to be an expert in this game, but enough to know the basic mechanics. And this game is so goddamn complicated and in-depth and hard to follow. If you're trying to watch a speedrun with no commentary and an explanation on what is going on, how do you do that? How are you doing that? It's very hard to recreate. There's not really a guide on how to complete this run, so originally I just watched her complete speedrun video with no commentary, and I studied the hell out of every little thing to try and recreate it. And despite that, on my first day of practicing this, I spent around 5 hours trying to at least get to the romance part with Minthara, and I couldn't even do that part correctly. Where is she? Why is she not there? I followed everything she did, and for some reason, Minthara would not sleep with me. To this day, I still don't know what I did wrong, but I'll spare you all of the details because that is just the start of my BG3 speedrunning journey. Eventually, I realized that the 2 runs above her went for the new, slightly longer Lae'zel route, so I gave up on Minthara and started studying the Lae'zel route instead. But if I was going to get a world record, there was one common denominator that every BG3 speedrun starts with no matter what: the intro wall jump skip glitch.
Oh my god, what is the problem? Why can't I do it anymore?
The intro for BG3 has you going through a ship where you meet Lae'zel and Shadowheart, which, even if you're going at a breakneck speed, still takes about 5 or 10 minutes to get through because of the cutscenes and doing the combat and all of that. But with the intro skip, you can get out of the ship in just about 53 seconds. The glitch involves running to this very specific part in the wall, using dash at the same time as trying to jump, and spamming the interact button until eventually, oops, you're in the wall now. You're in the wall and you could jump through the wall and you basically skip the entire ship. But trying to learn this yourself while watching some vague guide on YouTube was pretty rough. Why is it not working? And my first day speedrunning was spent entirely trying to perfect this one glitch.
Oh my god, it's stuck on starting a conversation. Why isn't the fucking conversation starting.
And that is just the first and one part of a giant puzzle of trying to get a speedrun record for this game. The glitch is very precise to hit, and if you don't do it fast enough, sometimes you'll just fall to the ground and die. Also, there used to be a visual indicator, like a light bulb that you could click on, and eventually they removed that little light bulb, so now you're kind of just clicking aimlessly, hoping that you're clicking on the right spot. A lot of it is really just intuition and trying to get it down, and apparently it's one of the hardest glitches to get, so I don't feel too bad for the fact that it took me 6 hours to finally get it down pat.
So I do the dash, and then I jump and I spam this, and then I land there. I think I pulled it off. Okay, skip that.
However, even after mastering the first glitch, you immediately have to perform another glitch, which involves jumping over the railing, quick saving, and then quick loading right as you land.
It did work. No, it did not work. Fuck.
The two reasons for this is that it's important to grab these two exploding barrels that we'll need later, and the quick save quick load lets us not have the jump count as an action so that we can run all the way to the exit in a single move. Again, this is another one of the glitches that take a very, very precise timing on it, because if you don't do it just right, you'll use the action, or maybe you'll reload and you haven't actually jumped yet. It's really annoying to get down. So the fact that I have to do it back to back, both glitches, I was losing my mind. Quick save, quick load, please tell me that's it.
Dude, I didn't get it. What? I don't understand. I don't understand how I'm getting it wrong, man.
After getting out of the ship, you start jumping around everywhere because it's faster than walking. We take the quickest path to find Lae'zel in a cage, and yet again, we have to perform not really a glitch, but another very specific set of movements that is very easy to mess up. Here's basically how it works. You place a fog cloud down on these two people here so that they don't see you and activate combat mode. But right as you place the fog cloud down, you have to enter turn-based mode at the exact right moment. This achieves two things. One, it stops the girl from shooting Lae'zel out of the cage, and two, it makes sure that you still have your action in turn-based mode. Having your action is very important because you have to jump over them and then shoot a fireball at Lae'zel and spam the right conversation sequence to tell her to meet you at your camp. Next, you carefully jump away, still without activating combat mode, and head to the nearest city in a very specific route, which prevents the cutscene from starting or NPCs talking to you.
Oh, I got hit with the cutscene.
You jump all the way to this guy and quickly get Lae'zel into your party and start a conversation. Then you get him to bow down to her and you talk to her, again making sure that you hit the right sequence to make sure that she approves of what you say. Now, originally this is where the pre-patch 5 speedrun ends, but since they made it a little bit more difficult, there's more to the run that we have to do. After talking to her, you make sure that you pick up this box and put it in your inventory, and now you have to go back to camp, ungroup with Lae'zel so that she stays there, and then fast travel out of there. Where the fuck is she? Again, this is one of the things that I missed when I was watching the guide and I didn't understand what was going on. Unless you understand BG3 and you pay attention to everything going on, I couldn't understand why he was fast traveling in the first place. It was hurting my brain, but I figured it out. You hop all the way to this goblin camp and pray to God that you roll better than a 2 on this dialogue, and then you sit out of the building where these 3 ogres are. Which brings us to our final glitch and final part of the run. You have to put down the box that you picked up earlier, stack the 2 explosive things that you grabbed at the beginning of the game, and attempt to place it next to the ogres, which won't actually work. You see that little red thing there? You're like, I don't understand I don't know. I just watched somebody else do it and I figured it out. You place it there and it makes the game thinks that it's there. I don't know the intricacies, but after you do that, you open the inventory of the box while simultaneously flicking your mouse at the same time, and if you do it just right, the box will just launch itself over there. This also took me a couple hours to master on my own. And even after mastering all of those glitches and all of those moves and getting a perfect run, your run can end right here, all due to RNG.
Oh my god, it's not killing him. Why is it not killing him?
The way Baldur's Gate 3 works is that there's a hidden dice roll when you shoot a fireball and all the barrels explode. This determines how much damage it'll do, and sometimes, if you're lucky, it'll kill the main specific ogre named Chalk who needs to die in order for Lae'zel to romance you.
If this doesn't work, I fucking give up. Because it's right next to him. It should fucking kill. It should kill him. This should kill him.
Don't ask me why. I literally don't know why or how any of this works or how anyone even figured this out. I'm just following what they did. I guess there's certain story beats that have to happen in order for Lae'zel to romance you, and Chalk, I guess, is a boss battle that counts for that, but it's only Chalk though. If the other 2 ogres die, it doesn't matter, it has to be chalk. And after doing this for the past 3 days and failing at any of these points, whether it be because of the RNG, or the glitches, or other silly little reasons, it was a tough one.
I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know anymore. I don't get it.
On my final run, I made a little detour on my route that involves picking up an explosive satchel nearby. This adds a little bit of extra time, but I found that it really increases the amount of damage it does to ensure that chalk will die, while also being a little bit easier to fling the box from the roof. Wait, did they all die? Oh, they all died. They all died. Oh my god. And after getting a somewhat good run after playing Baldur's Gate 3 for the past 20 hours, probably. Are you looking at me differently? Yes, yes, yes. Go to sleep. End the day. I finally finished a run and completed my goal. End the day, partial rest. Yep, yep, yep. Hey, stop, 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 stop. That's it. My time, 7 minutes and 17 seconds. 4 minutes longer than my goal of 3rd place and 2 minutes longer than not even being last on the leaderboard. We got it. We got it. That's it. We got it. We got it. I'm embarrassed and ashamed. I'm ashamed that I spent 20 hours learning these useless skills that'll never apply to anything else. It doesn't even apply to being better at the game. It's just applying to this one very specific niche. And that's why I felt like I couldn't give up. I was on stream doing this on TikTok for like hours and hours, and I felt drained. It was like a sunken cost fallacy. That's what it felt like, because I already dedicated so much time and I really wanted to be 3rd place. But Baldur's Gate 3 speedrunning is very hard. I tried more than I've tried for anything else in my life. I studied, I practiced for hours, I mastered glitches that I didn't even think I could do all on my own, and not even having a consultant to do it this time. And I still wasn't good enough to at least not be last on the leaderboard of only 4 people. Speedrunning is no joke, and I have a huge respect for the people that are insane enough to actually pull this off. Maybe one day I'll come back to this and achieve my goal of being 3rd place on the Baldur's Gate 3 sex speedrun leaderboard. It'll probably have to be its own video because I dedicated too much time to this. I have 20 hours of footage that is gonna go to waste because I'm not gonna put 20 hours of footage into this video. I was losing my mind. And honestly, I'm too embarrassed to even submit my 7-minute time, so I didn't even submit it. And while the answer to the question of how fast can I romance someone in Baldur's Gate 3 is 7 minutes and 17 seconds, I ask you this, my dear audience. How fast can you romance someone in Baldur's Gate 3? Thanks for watching me make this dumb video. I hope you enjoy watching them just as much as I love making them. Subscribe to see whatever dumb thing I do next, and hopefully it's sooner than another 2 months. I'm sorry that I'm really slow at making videos. I'll be faster. I just need a little push, a little motivation. But all right, okay, bye. See you in the next video, guys. Toodaloo. Toodaloo now. Goodbye.